Nikolay Vasilievich Gogol-Yanovsky is one of the strangest birds in the aviary of great writers. Although he is routinely ranked among the 4 or 5 masters of Russian prose fiction, not a drop of Russian blood flowed in his veins. His personal life looks so uneventful that many biographers have strained to hear the sizzle of secrets beneath the surface, but to scant avail. He was one of the celebrated chroniclers of foods in literature, but complained that his own stomach had grown in upside down and could handle little more than macaroni. He strove for precision in his writing, keeping elaborate lists of terms, even asking his correspondents to correct him, yet crafted a prose that was famous for ambiguity and then resented multiple interpretations. He lived in a foreign city, Rome, when he was writing about a provincial and rural Russia where he had never lived. He drew heavily on the mind and work of the 18th century and the Romantic movement, but created fictions with so many features of modernism and even postmodernism that we respond to him as to a contemporary. Because he is so contradictory, so enigmatic in so many ways, people have always been impelled to ask, who is Gogol? What is Gogol? No one answer has ever sufficed. At various times, he has been read as a realist, a symbolist, a fantasist, a comedian, a satirist, a tragedian. One could easily imagine a history of Russian literary criticism being written around the life and work of Nikolay Gogol. Early life and works. Gogol's family was of mixed Polish and Ukrainian heritage. The oldest of 5 children and the only surviving male, he was born on the 20th of March, 1809. The family estate, Vasilievka, was situated in the tiny village of Bolshie Sorochinsy, in the Mirgorod district of Poltava province in Little Russia, as the Ukraine was then officially called. By the standards of the time, the Gogol-Yanovskys were reasonably well off, owning some 3,000 acres and 200 male serfs. As a child, Gogol had access to a rich uncle's well-stocked library, to the Ukrainian comedies that his father wrote mainly as a diversion, and to his mother's imagination, which was especially vivid on religious topics, but he showed no signs of precocity. When he was 12, he was sent to the well-known gymnasium in Nyezhin, some 100 miles to the northwest. There he received a good education by the standards of the time, including a familiarity with Russian literature and a brush with some Western European writers. His schoolmates thought him odd and not conspicuously talented. One of them declared on seeing a specimen of his prose, "You'll never make a fiction writer, that's obvious right now." Gogol responded by burning the manuscript, the first of several burnings that would mark his career. No one foresaw that a mere 4 years after his graduation in 1828, he would win recognition as one of Russia's most promising young writers of fiction. He apparently never considered returning home to manage the family estate, of which he had nominally been head since his father's death in 1825. Nor did he wish to embark upon a university education. It was not that he lacked ambition. He always felt marked for some great achievement. From Nyezhin, he moved to St. Petersburg, like thousands of eager young men, but had no idea what form his career might take. His fruitless search for employment was finally rewarded with an appointment to an obscure department of the civil service, at the lowest grade, in the so-called table of ranks. An audition at the Imperial Theatres, in hopes of becoming a great tragic actor, yielded nothing but condescending rejection. He took some classes at the Academy of Arts, which quickened a lifelong interest in painting and sculpture. At the same time, he was doing some writing. In 1829, his first 2 published works appeared anonymously. A short poem entitled Italy in The Son of the Fatherland, a respected journal, and under the pseudonym V. Alloff, a long poem entitled Hans Küchelgarten, an idyll in verse with a German hero, printed at his own expense. This larger effort gleaned 2 reviews, both unforgivingly negative. Gogol responded by buying up and burning all the copies he could find.